Hello everyone, my name is Ray with Off the Charts, and today we're going to do our second episode of Viz in 10, the vlog where we try and open a data visualization tool, a new one every week, and spend 10 minutes just trying to build a dashboard out of it, see how far we can go without looking at any websites, any guides, any kind of help information. Really trying to test how intuitive these platforms are becoming, because that's really the name of the game, is putting analytics in the hands of the end user, and to do that you got to make it as easy of a process as possible, really diminish that learning curve so that the business users can pick it up and run with it themselves. Last week, you'll recall we did, or you may not recall if you didn't watch it, but you can go and see we did Viz in 10 on Google Data Studio. That's all here on the site, or it's also on the YouTube channel if you want to take a look at that. This week we're going to look at MicroStrategy. So MicroStrategy, just a tool. I think it's relatively new. I hadn't seen it when we were looking at tools a year ago for the company I was at, so I'm not sure when it entered the market, but it looks like a nice crisp software. I'm actually quite excited to get into this one because they, just based on what they're showing here, it does look like it can do some nice looking charts and nice looking analysis. So we'll see how intuitive it is. In terms of pricing, not really sure, but I can tell you there's a free desktop version, which is what I've downloaded, and I don't think it's a limited functionality desktop version, so I think it does have all the features, all the connections that you normally get, and then they'll probably start charging you for sharing or making it into a server rollout. That kind of stuff is probably where they start to make their money. So just going to load the data now before we get into it. So I just clicked this button here, which is very common data source with a plus. I'm going to go from disk, choose a file, and we're going to load our Austin bike share. And just while that's doing that, we'll take a quick look at the data source itself, which is all the rent-a-bike trips in the city of Austin, Texas, going back to 2013. Pretty easy data set to digest. It's just a CSV file. Has your latitude and longitude for the station, where it starts, where it ends. Key measure will be duration, as well as kind of a count of a bike ID, a count of a trip ID. And then there's some times as well. So month, year, a start time, that kind of stuff. So that's what we'll typically try to be looking at. And then we're going to do our best to compare that to both Google Data Studio, which we did before, and any one that we do in the future. So we're 6 minutes from starting. Let's go ahead and click Prepare Data, and we're on the way. So let's see. So this looks fine, I guess. I don't really... So duration in minutes is being shown as an attribute. So there we go, converted that to metric. Year and month, they're both integers, so that's okay. What's interesting is the start time. Well, we don't know. That could easily be a date type. So let's just go ahead with that. So that was nice, just a little drag down to get the duration in minutes converted. I don't know why it would have defaulted as an attribute. It is just a single integer field. So it's a bit puzzling that it would come up in the attributes section, but at least it wasn't a trying process to convert it. Alright, so let's just start with something simple. Let's do a bike ID as the rows and a duration minutes as the columns. And let's make this one of these. So I guess I didn't go over that, but I mean, pretty intuitive, I thought, to see the charts over here and see these here. I didn't have much issue there, and just like that we have this first visualization which shows the how many minutes have been spent on each bike. So we'll go ahead and do another sheet, I think. And let's see a month and a count of trips. So a count of trips for every month. The attribute has too many elements. Alright, go ahead. I don't care. So what it's doing here for rows is it's showing me how many trips were in the month. That's fine, but I obviously want to count them. This is pretty useless to me. So show totals. Total, let's see. That didn't do much for me. Okay, let's get rid of that. I think. Alright, so I think we have to try to make duplicate as metric. That seems cool. Sum of trip ID, that's not what we want. Number format. Calculation. Aggregate by count. Okay, so there we go. We got a count of trips by month. Maybe we want to see that as a line chart. It's kind of dull, I guess. Maybe the area chart doesn't make sense in this case. Well, let's just keep it there for now. But I mean, easy enough. We're only 2.5 or 5 minutes in, and we got a handful of charts. I don't know how long we are in. 3 minutes in, I guess. So let's see if we can put these on a dashboard. So I don't know how to really add a dashboard. Insert. No. What's this button? Insert visualize it. Oh, okay. So if you press this guy, you insert a visualization. I think this might be your dashboarding here. But I think maybe we might have botched that. I don't know if we can actually move these sheets into it. But that's okay. Easy enough to recreate, I guess. And to me, that's just being familiar with a different type of software and expecting the same out of this one. And it's clearly not the case, and that's not what I want to do. So there we go, a bar chart of all of our bikes. And can we sort this? Sort descending. Oh. So it's clearly sorting descending by the number. There we go. There's the bike with the most minutes on it, and it goes down that way, and there's a little scroll bar here just because there's tons and tons of bikes, but there you have that. And then let's recreate the other one that we had, the month, I think it was. I gotta click this one. Month by count of trips, so trips by month, and we had a line chart, I think. So there's a line chart. Okay, and maybe if we add year to the color, let's see what that does. Okay, I mean that looks like crap, but it is something. Let's take that out. Take that out, take that out. So I think this here looks like a map, so let's see if we can add this as a map. This might be a bit ambitious given that we only have 4 minutes left, but latitude. So where's my, right down here, start lat. Can't do it. Cannot do it. Why not? Geometric mean, that seems intense. I don't know why. I think we must have to set it somewhere, but I really don't know where. So we're gonna stop doing that. Let's make one of these bubble chart things. So let's do subscriber type as the colors. That's just really what kind of bike user you have. It's going to put that as the color. We're going to put start. We'll put duration as the horizontal. I don't want this. Let's do Let's go back to our number of trips. And then we gotta... I didn't want to take it out of the color, so I added to the color the first time, and I added it to both the horizontal and color just by default. So there's your subscriber type based on how many trips they make. And then maybe number of station IDs. So again, we have to do duplicate as metric. That's not a bad button though. I don't mind that button. Duplicate by metric, and it's a sum. We don't want a sum, we want a total. Or a count, I guess, sorry. So now it's a count. Oh, it's not a count. Aggregate by count. And let's see if we can add that to size. Oh, there's a tooltip down here as well, kind of hiding. So the size is how many stations they were at. Oh, look at that thing. Alright, then we've got time for one more graph, I think. Actually, let's name some of these. So time by bike. This is trips by month. This is, I don't even know what this is, duration and number of start stations by subscriber type. That's clear as mud right there. And let's see if we can do one more. They've got these down here. Oh god, I didn't want to do that. It's nice, back button exactly where you'd expect it to be. It does take a bit of time though. That was a costly mistake with 1 minute on the clock. Jeez, that's not good. So, okay, there we go. Add another dash or sheet, I guess, and it's kind of churning every time I move it. Let's do, this is kind of going to show the same thing, I guess. Let's do an area chart where we show duration as the color and subscriber type. I don't know. Alright, I don't want to do that. Let's make this a scorecard and let's just show duration in minutes. And let's do another scorecard. Where we show a count of trips. And there you go. I want to move both of these here, but we're kind of out of time. Just do that and say it works. That's the that's the dashboard. It definitely feels lacking. But I can't really put my finger on why. Like, this is obviously crap. I think we just kind of got ahead of ourselves there. Just far too many things happening in this to be useless. So I don't think that's a fault of the software. I think that's a fault of me just trying to get something out of one of these scatter plots. We didn't really try to test interactivity. I don't really... I think if we click filter here... Anyways, we'll have to do that another time. I do plan on coming back around to some of these and figuring out a bit more. You know, the colors, it's just standard blue. I guess we could have spent more time going into that. It does have tooltips by default, which is nice. I like just being able to... You can't drag them down, which would be ideal, but you can duplicate as a metric, which is nice because it duplicates it as it says, so it gives you, it doesn't take away your dimension, but it does create your metric. I think you have to go and aggregate them. I don't know what would happen if you wanted multiple aggregations. I think it might be fine. You have to duplicate it again as a different metric. I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. I think it's a good tool. It probably does have a bit of a learning curve before it becomes a very good tool. Oh, the other thing I didn't like was having to recreate these sheets. I guess that's just kind of one of those things you figure out eventually, but you know, everything was kind of within a couple clicks, I guess. I can't fault it too much. I'll give it an 11 as the score. Thanks for tuning in.